Drivin Ivan here, and you've seen me do a lot of Porsche 911 996 reviews lately because I've been looking for one to buy. Well, I've found it. Behind me is a 2000 911. It's a 996 Carrera 4 Cabriolet, and I'll tell you why I bought the all-wheel drive version, and I'll tell you why I bought this exact one. Well, for starters, the color and the look. Avid viewers of mine will know that most of my cars are blue, and I really wanted a blue 911 996, and this one definitely is. I also happen to love these upgraded 18-inch wheels and the drilled rotors and upgraded brakes too, of course. Bigger brakes means faster stopping, and that ultimately means more speed and a better time around the track. It's not that I'm planning on tracking this too much, and of course purists will say you need a coupe for track experience. It's a stiffer car, of course, but I love to take the top down, and the fact that this one has the hard top, because where I live it's very cold right now, but fortunately I'm in Florida where I picked up the car, and I can enjoy some top-down fun here. But it's good to have the hard top, I think. There's a button to the left, basically close to the floor, that lets you go ahead and raise the spoiler if you want, and I've chosen to do that. I think it looks better. I actually opened it for the video here. Note, it's a Carrera 4, that means all-wheel drive. If it just says Carrera, then it's just the rear-wheel drive version. I'll get more into two-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive later, but for now, I really like the way this one looks. Yep, I could just stare at it from every angle right now and just admire it, and that's actually what I've been doing. It's sitting in my friend's garage, and every night I say goodnight to it, and every morning I wake up and say good morning to it. I love the way it looks. Okay, it looks similar to a Boxster from this angle, but again, I like the look, and I'll talk more about that later too when I'm driving it. Now let's go see the interior. Inside there are similarities to earlier 911s and also later 911s, and I certainly like that. One of my favorite things here is the key to the left of the steering wheel, and that's for the Formula One start, when they used to have to race in the Grand Prix and jump in and start the car. That was to make it just a bit quicker. So these Porsches are all about speed and going fast and racing, and it just shows in the way they design the interior, and I just love it. This is how you open the front, this is how you open the back where the engine is. It's all power and lumbar seating here. This one in gray, and it's got the accents that are very rare in 911s. This is something that made it pop to me. Not a lot of 911s have wood interiors, and okay, you might argue it looks a bit dated, but to me it makes it pop a bit and stand out. Whereas if it was just all gray, well, it would be a bit bland to me. I like it. This is probably the worst part of the interior here. Some cracking down there, unfortunately, but still you can see the wood on the shifter, and this is a short shifter, so the throw is a lot shorter. Love that. There's where you put up and down your windows for the front, windows for the back here, some storage right there. You can lock this storage compartment, but to open it you just press here, and there you have a bit of storage in the middle. Not a lot though. Notice the handbrake, and it's Porsche inscribed, of course. You can actually move forward and backwards the passenger seat while you're sitting in the driver's seat. That's why they put this one on that side as well. This one has the heated seats, controls for them down there, and then lots of different settings for the radio as well, and different EQ settings too. Porsche stability management is really famous for keeping the Porsche going down the road in the direction you want it to, and you can cancel it, which is really, really cool, I think. But for most circumstances, you probably want to keep it on. The air conditioning blows very cold in this, and the heater works well. This is a Florida car, of course, and you definitely need air conditioning in a Florida car. So that's another plus about buying a car down here in Florida. But you definitely want to check everything on these cars and make sure it works correctly. I'll go ahead and start it up now. You got to have the clutch in. Yeah, nice. There you go. Classic Porsche layout here with the gauges. You've got the big tachometer up front, and over here you have the speedometer, but in the middle it actually gives you a digital readout. battery over there, and then you have temperature and a gas gauge, and here is your oil pressure. That should settle down between 1 and 2 at idle when it's warmed up, so you definitely want to check that too to make sure the oil pressure is correct. Lighting controls over here, and this one has the HID, really high performance headlights, so that's very nice to have too. There are 2 seats in back. That's really unique about the Porsche 911. I love it, and of course you can collapse those and use them as kind of storage trays too. That's a great feature. You know, it's really kind of like a hardtop coupe with that top on. As you can see, it's very nice and fits very well. You basically clip it in up front here on either side, and then back here in the corner there's a tool, and you tighten it up back there, and then you're good to go. Even has a defroster back there. Really nice. Okay, so really wanting to own this Porsche 911 is all about driving it. And you know, I actually had not driven the all-wheel drive version of this car until I went to test drive this one, and ultimately I ended up purchasing it. So what does that tell you? Well, it tells you that I actually didn't mind the way the C4 drives versus the C2 rear-wheel drive version. I think the all-wheel drive is just a little bit of added security, and to me there's nothing wrong with that. You know, many people live in tough environments with snow and that sort of thing, where maybe it rains a lot, and it's good to have the all-wheel drive for that. Now, in terms of lap time and things like that, this 911 puts the power down. It definitely will get it down all the time reliably for you. So it really does grip well, and ultimately it is faster, probably in, I would say, about 95% of people's hands. And even though it has less drama, you probably can't induce oversteer as much in this. You certainly could if you turn the stability management off. But again, this is the safer car, whereas the Carrera 2 might be a more traditional 911 feel. But again, avid viewers of mine will know, hey, I have a 911 SC Targa, and that's probably one of the purest and best driving experiences in the Porsche world, in my opinion. So I own that one, and this I bought to be a daily driver. See up front there, you still have the 2 bulges for the headlights, even though they're not round like the traditional style. Still feels like a 911 with that engine behind you, and the shape too. Ultimately, another reason why I chose this 911 is that it is a 6-speed manual, and it's got the short throws. It's got a short shifter in it, so it feels real snicky, much more so than other 911s that I've driven. And although the Tiptronic was fun, check out my review elsewhere of a 996 with a Tiptronic in it, I ultimately wanted to feel more attached to the driving experience, and therefore I chose to get the 6-speed manual. But certainly the Tiptronic is definitely useful for many people, and lots of times if you're going to get a convertible, well, that's of course not the super sporting edition of the 996, so it makes sense sometimes to get that Tiptronic transmission. Like I said, more on that in my other review of the Tiptronic. So this 996 I bought to be my daily driver, and I can enjoy it in any weather. Doesn't matter if it's snowing, raining, or what it's doing. I can even, of course, put the top down, and to me, an open air motoring experience is really quite enjoyable. I will definitely gladly sacrifice some chassis stiffness in order to be able to put the top down, and I just love convertibles, and this cabriolet 911 C4 996 is exactly what I wanted. So I'm just thrilled to have bought this one, and I look forward to owning it and enjoying it for hopefully many years to come. I think it's the perfect companion to my 911 SC Targa. Check out my review elsewhere of that one, and of course check out my review of all of the Porsche 996s that I've tested lately. I did test the Tiptronic as well, and a 6-speed manual rear-wheel drive cabriolet as well. Look for those reviews elsewhere on YouTube. And of course, also the 964, 911, and other 911s too, like the new Carrera which is a turbo, on the track. Check out my review of that one, including the Boxster 718 on the track as well. But anyway, one more reason I bought this 911 Carrera 4 is I actually got what I think is a very, very good deal on it. And that, of course, has a lot to do with it. I think these 996 911s are really at the bottom of the market now. I think people are starting to realize that they really are great cars and really true 911s, even if they look like a Boxster from the front and share most of the Boxster from the doors forward. This is a pure 911, and right now it's a pure 911 that you can get for really pennies on the dollar, I think, when you compare it to the other 911s out there. The air-cooleds, like my 911 SC, are really, really expensive now, and these, I think, are undervalued and offer a lot of bang for the buck. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Check out all of my other car videos, disc golf videos, documentaries, literal video for Chris Isaac's Wicked Game. I'm Drivin Ivan.